Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to session on Keats's poem on first looking into Chapman's Homer. And I'm sure that you can recognize the place where I'm doing the recording. This is your favorite classroom. And I'm doing the recording here just to give you a taste of real classroom through virtual platform. So have an imaginary journey into your real classroom. Let's start our discussion. In this session, we'll have a discussion and analysis of the poem on first looking into Chapman's Homer by John Keats. On first looking into Chapman's Homer, Keats and his friend Charles Clark, as I told you about Charles Clark in our discussion on Keats's life and works. So Keats with his friend had been reading Chapman's Homer, a translation of Homer by George Chapman, just the night before this poem was composed. And he was so mesmerized, impressed by the knowledge and the quality of translation and the world of the Greek literature that he discovered through the translation of Chapman's, that he could not resist himself writing a sonnet on it. So here, in this poem, he talks about a translation of Homer. Homer means the literature of Homer, like Iliad and Odyssey. And Homer was the classical Greek poet. And the translation was done by George Chapman, an Elizabethan poet. George Chapman was a poet as well as a translator. Indeed, on first looking into Chapman's Homer is a sonnet about poetry and literature. And in this sonnet, we have two parallel journeys, the real world journey and literary world or literary journey through imagination. We know that Keats had profound reading indeed, profound reading experience. And his experience of his reading helped rich literature and goodly states and kingdoms, that is, he got experience of different cultures, societies, kingdoms through literature or depicted in literature or depicted in different types of books. And he also around many Western islands have I been. That is, he also read the literature of Plato, Aristotle, and Virgil, Homer, and other classicists. Oft of one wide expanse had I been told that deep-browed Homer ruled as his demands. So very often they speak hard about the imaginative world, which is the literary world, which was presided over, which was highly influenced by the genius Greek poet Homer. But this world was never truly brought to life until the speaker read the translation of George Chapman, who seemed to speak to him loudly and proudly. So he did hear about the Western literature as well as the demands of Homer. But the knowledge of Homer and the literature of Homer and other Greek literature indeed didn't come alive to him until, and probably unless, until the translated version of Homer, translated by George Chapman, who is a great translation. He is praising Chapman's translating quality as well, that is the translation of Homer by Chapman. Proudly and loudly, explicitly speaks out about the richness, about the quality of the Greek literature, particularly Homer. So here oft means often or often. Expanse means a wide continuous area of something. Here it refers to the vast Greek literature. Demands is a territory or land. Here it refers to the influence of Homer on literature and poets. Serene, an expanse of clear sky and calm sea. The large, beautiful, blessed, enjoyable literary taste that he relished while reading Chapman's version of Homer. Yet did I never breathe its pure serene. That world did not come alive to me, though I heard about Homer's writing, Homer's genius. And we have already known that Chapman here refers to Chapman's translation of Homer, so it's a metonymy here. Then felt I like some watcher of the skies when a new planet swims into his can. So when he read Chapman's translation of Homer's work, it did have some impact, influence on his mind. How did he feel after reading Chapman's version of Homer? He felt like a discoverer, an astronomer. That an astronomer who had just witnessed a planet sliding into his view, sliding into his telescope, into his can. So we know that astronomer researches and deals with planets and other heavenly bodies, and he or she becomes very happy when he or she can discover a new planet or a new heavenly body. So he is feeling like just an astronomer who had just discovered a new planet. And you see the line, when a new planet swims into his can. So the sky is compared to an ocean where the planetary bodies are swimming, and now he can see, the astronomer can see in his mirror, in his telescope, a new planet swimming or visible in his can or in his telescope. So here we have a transition speaking about the effect of the imaginary literary journey on articulating the change that occurred within Keats or the speaker after reading Chapman's translation. Immense means awestruck or discoverer. Sorry, immense doesn't mean awestruck or discoverer. Immense is huge. So the effect of reading Homer's translation, Chapman's translation of Homer, is immense. And he becomes awestruck because he has become a discoverer of new planets, new heavenly bodies, which is indeed rare at or before the time of Keats. Watcher is a seer, an astronomer here, who looks for planets and other bodies in the sky. Ken means the telescope, one's range of knowledge or understanding. Ken is also used to refer to the knowledge. Swim, as if the sky is an ocean and the planetary bodies are swimming in the sky. Or like a stout Cortez, when with eagle eyes he stared at the Pacific and all his men looked at each other with a wild surmise, silent upon a peak in Darien. So he is continuing speaking about the effect of reading Chapman's Homer. So after reading Chapman's Homer, he is not feeling only an astronomer discovering a new planet, but also he is talking about the discovery on Earth. This experience was also like the kind of awe felt by the explorer Cortez when he looked out at the Pacific Ocean, when he and the men under his command fell silent, standing on a mountain peak in the Darien region of Panama. Cortez, Hernandez Cortez, a Spanish conquistador. Conquistador is a Spanish word for conqueror, which means soldier and explorer. So here Cortez is referred to as a person who conquered the first Aztec Empire in Central America. So in the picture you see that there is a Darien area or region in Panama, and from that place you can see the other areas around, like West Indies and other areas in the South America. There is a problem with this allusion that indeed Cortez was not the person who discovered the America or the South America around Panama. Indeed, it was Balboa who discovered this area. And Cortez discovered Mexico and other areas. But probably Keats intentionally had this mistake. Because Keats is supposed to have read this in his school syllabus, history, who discovered which area. Whatever it is, it may have been done intentionally by Keats. So he is feeling like that Cortez, who with his eagle eyes stared at the Pacific, because he has just discovered the vast area, and he has an eagle eye. Though he has an eagle eye, now he can understand, or now he can surmise, now he can feel that so vast areas are there in front of him. Just like Keats, when he read Chapman's Homer, he understands that this translation of Homer by Chapman is not enough. He has tested so much, so deeply the translation or Homer's writings that he can feel that. He can wildly feel, wildly gaze, wildly surmise that a lot of things are there left in front of him. So he has to continue reading Homer's writing and other classicists so that he can discover more and more, just like Cortez. And also, as they have discovered so vast a thing, that is why they feel silent. They cannot speak. So he also, the speaker also, or here Keats also feels the same. He also feels awestruck by the richness of Homer's writing, Homer's literature. In this poem, the poet has used an extended metaphor of journey into the world of literature. He is talking about one journey that took place in real world, or in our discovery of some planets in the sky. But indeed, he is referring to a journey through literature. This is a sonnet, and indeed this is a Petrarchan sonnet, having all the qualities of a Petrarchan sonnet, which follows the typical structure of an 8-line octave followed by a 6-line sestet. He starts with a discussion and he meets the climax just around the middle, and at last we see a solution. That is, he is having some influence. He is talking about the influence of the climax that took place in the octave. So here we have a typical Petrarchan rhyming scheme: A, B, B, A, B, B, A, C, D, C, D, C, D. And like any other Petrarchan sonnet, it has used iambic pentameter. Here we see the mastery of Keats in using lot many figures of speech. I have here only some of them, like allusions, Western Islands, the voyages of Odysseus. We know that Odysseus made 7 long journeys. Birds, it may mean Shakespeare, because Chapman is an Elizabethan poet. So maybe another great or greatest Elizabethan poet, Shakespeare, is referred to by the word birds. Birds also can refer to poets in general. Apollo is the Greek god of music and poetry. Metaphor we have here, like one wide expanse, it means poetry, the territory, and it is as vast as the sea. Demons means estate, property. We have simile here, then felt I like some watcher of the skies, and or like a stout Cortez when with eagle eyes. We have here personification as well, when a new planet swims into his skin, as if a planet is swimming with some human quality personified in the ocean of the universe or of the sky, and now it just swims into the telescope of the astronomer. So hope that you have understood the basic aspects of the poem